This is part one of a two-part video series where I'm going to teach you 4 proven foundational ways to increase your confidence as a coach. And what I promise you is it's not what almost everybody's looking for, and it's definitely not what people are teaching out there, which is why almost nobody gets the confidence to build a successful business. Stick around for this whole conversation.
So let's get into today's content. Today is going to be about the confidence hacks. And we had a little bit of a conversation, internal conversation about that word specifically, because some of you may know that I hate the word hacks. And the reason I hate the word hacks is because it's a marketing word, at least the way it's used a lot. It's a marketing word. It's not exactly what the word means. You know, the word doesn't necessarily mean shortcut, but I think the way most people use it and the way that a lot of people are drawn to it, it means shortcut. Like, let me find a hack. Let me find a simple, easy way to do something that I don't really want to do otherwise. All right. You know, I don't want to put the hard work in. So I personally have a problem with the connotation of the word. It might not be healthy for me, but anyway, but the word itself, you know, can just mean strategies and things to do, right? And there's also nothing wrong with looking for better ways to do stuff. And so at the core, that's what we're all looking for. And that's what this word represents for a lot of people. I think some marketers have taken that word and turned it into like secret stuff that nobody knows about, right? Which, in my opinion, doesn't exist. But anyway, we decided to go ahead and use the word. And part of it was just a marketing test. You know, do people pay attention? Do people show up when we use the word hacks versus strategies or ways or tips or whatever it is? So anyway, we just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a dissection of that particular word and the marketing concept behind it. So today we're going to talk about, this is going to be the part one of the 4 hacks to increase your confidence when you're coaching clients. So this is specifically in the area of coaching clients. This is not in the area of sales or marketing or anything else that a lot of people are looking for confidence in. This is just in coaching clients. Now, coaching clients, when you get confident in coaching clients, that will lead to confidence in your marketing. It will lead to what I've experienced, what a lot of our clients experience is like an explosion of content and creativity, because you actually have confidence in the client coaching part, which leads to all the other conversations. So this is below what most people are looking for. And if you're looking for the confidence above, but you don't have the confidence below, it's going to be fake at best. People are going to smell it and it's just not going to work. You know, it's not going to work out for you. So today we're going to talk, in this video, we're going to talk about the first 2 hacks of increasing your confidence. And the first one is, and what we're going to do is talk about distinctions, right? It's either this or that, and create the separation of certain concepts, which I think is really important as we dissect the information, as we study personal development, etc. So the first one is to source your confidence from the person, not the process. I think what most people are looking for is confidence in the process of coaching. Like, give me the tools. When somebody is dealing with a certain kind of issue in their life, when they're dealing with grief, when they're dealing with goal setting, when they're dealing with divorce, when they're dealing with fear of speaking, what tool do I use? We get those kinds of questions asked all the time. I mean, we do a lot of work in certification programs that we offer. And so we're in these coaching conversations all the time about the essence of actually doing the coaching. And so we get these kinds of questions, which are natural questions. There's nothing wrong with the question. But most of the time, the target, the intended answer, or the fantasy answer is, tell me what to say every time somebody has an issue, or tell me what tool to use every time somebody has this thing. And we always answer those questions with, it depends. I mean, who's the person? Like, we're talking about humans. The human underneath the grief is more important to understand than the grief. The human underneath goal setting is more important to understand than the process of goal setting, because it's the human underneath that's going to make it work or not work. And so if you understand that confidence in the person is more important than confidence in the process, then you can find confidence in the process, but it's built upon confidence in the person. So when it comes to coaching, I want you to source your confidence in you as the coach more than the tools of coaching. So a great analogy for this is cooking. I don't really fancy myself as a good cook. We were just in the Bahamas a couple of weeks ago with somebody who's a phenomenal cook, like world-renowned cook. And as we were teaching one of the lessons, I looked over to her, and it was actually a perfect analogy that we could take her and put her in any kitchen, give her any tools, give her just about any ingredients, and she's going to make something masterful. Why? Because she is a masterful cook, not because she has the right utensils. What most of us are looking for is the confidence in the utensils. If I have all the right tools, if I have all the right stuff, if I have all the right circumstances all around me, then I can produce something good coming out of the oven. No, if you're a good cook, it doesn't matter what you have around you. You're going to use your resourcefulness and produce something good coming out of the oven. So I would rather you be a confident cook than to seek your confidence in the kitchen or in the utensils or in other people's recipes. Because if your confidence is in all of these other external stuff, you're always going to need those things. You're always going to need somebody else's recipes. You're always going to need somebody else's ingredients. So as a coach, you want to source your confidence from you as a person. If you don't trust yourself as a person, then all the tools and exercises and rules and the things that you've memorized really don't matter, because you don't trust yourself as a coach. And really, that word is massive, trust. If you don't trust yourself in environments where you don't control or know all of the variables, you can't be a good coach, because knowing all the variables will never happen. And so when we trust in the process and we source our confidence in just the process, we have to know all of these unknowable variables. And that's why it doesn't work. And I'm saying this not from like a philosophical place. I'm saying this because this is what actually works for coaches. When we see coaches who become successful financially, externally, with an explosion of their brand or clients or all the external stuff that people are wanting, it's because there's been an internal shift. So this is just wisdom about what works. This isn't just a philosophical argument. Should I trust the process? Should I trust the person? What I'm telling you is nobody that I know is ever successful only trusting and sourcing the confidence in the process, because you're dealing with humans. You're dealing with unpredictable humans. If you source your confidence in the process, you're working with prediction. You are only trusting what you can predict. And since humans cannot be predicted, it's useless to source only your confidence in the process, right? So I already kind of alluded to the two different applications of sourcing the confidence in the person. You as the coach and them as the client. You have to find confidence in your ability to guide people, to facilitate transformation. And the only way that I know of you finding confidence in your ability to facilitate transformation is for you to witness and experience the facilitation of transformation. meaning you've got to see the facilitation of transformation, whether that's in certification programs or Zoom calls or live events or however you're going to do that. You've got to see it. You've got to witness it with other people and in other people. And then you've also got to experience it. You got to practice. There is no way for you to build experiential confidence, which is going to turn into another word that I'm going to get to in a moment. But there's no way for you to have experiential confidence intellectually. You can't just see something and go, okay, I get it, and then have the kind of confidence that only comes from experience. So you've got to do the work. So that's you as the coach. The second application of this is them as the client. You have to understand that humans have their answers for pretty much all of their questions. They just won't find them on their own. You have all of your answers. You just won't find them on your own. The reason that and so do I won't find them on my own. I need coaches. I need to talk things out with other people so that I get different perspectives, because our answers, our deepest answers, are always going to be in our blind spots, and we won't see our blind spots because we created our blind spots. So we need to understand that the client has the wisdom, but they won't access it on their own without some expert guidance. So as coaches, what we are guides. We're facilitators of helping people find the wisdom that they won't find on their own. And when you understand that concept and then you study human behavior, then you'll know what questions to ask. You'll know where to take the conversation, and then the processes matter. And then the tools can be used in a very powerful way, but it's sitting on top of the understanding at a deeper level of what human behavior really is, right? So that's the distinction between confidence found in the person and confidence found in the process. And I would say probably 80 to 90% of the questions that people are asking, and therefore 80 to 90% of the answers that the market is giving, like the programs that are being sold, are process related. This is what platform to use. This is how often to send emails. This is the strategy that you need to have. These are the things to do. And again, it's important. That's the tip of the iceberg that we see above the surface of the water. That's important. But because that's all we see, we tend to ask questions based on just the stuff that we see or the stuff that we experience when we're in other people's funnels or in other people's programs. So then we just ask this surface level stuff. And because that's what the humans are demanding, that's what the market is supplying. But then none of the below the surface stuff is actually being understood, because we're just asking and answering above the surface process related questions that then get frustrating, because if they don't have the below the surface foundation, then they really don't matter. So these matter, just not first. These matter from bottom up. And then the process can become magical. And then you can ask people questions. I always say you can make sounds with your mouth and change another human's life. You can, but you've got to have the foundation underneath the understanding, right? So the second hack that I want to speak to here is the difference between certainty and confidence, and the fact that certainty is much more important and much more powerful and will lead to success more than confidence. It's actually been difficult for me to speak the last 15 minutes or so about confidence without using the word certainty, because certainty is actually what's going to move the needle. And if I could give you just a working definition of these two words, this isn't necessarily the dictionary definition. I didn't look these up, but the way I'm using these and the distinction that I'm making, confidence is you believing that the process is going to go as planned. So when we have confidence in speaking, what that usually means is we believe that we're not going to mess up. We believe that we're going to remember everything that we want to say. We believe that our jokes are going to be laughed at if you want to be funny. We believe that if we offer something, people are going to buy it. So we believe the process will go as planned. That's the confidence that most people are searching for, that's found in the intellect. Because the intellect wants to know everything's going to go according to plan. And if something is not going to go according to plan, I want to be prepared for it. So the confidence that most people are searching for is actually based on a fear of it not going as planned. Certainty is when you know it's probably not going to go as planned, and it's going to be okay anyway. You're going to be okay anyway. Your speaking gig is going to be okay anyway. Your coaching session is going to be okay anyway. And the reason that certainty is so much more powerful than confidence is because we don't need to predict anything. We don't need to worry about the external processes going as planned, especially when I said earlier, humans are unpredictable. So if you source your confidence in the ability to predict human behavior, you can't play this game and be successful, because what you're requiring doesn't exist. But certainty removes all that, and it says, doesn't matter what people say, I got this. I got this because I've seen it happen over and over and over again, not going according to the plan. And not only does it work out okay, it actually works out better than I thought it was going to. So a person, a coach that is driven by certainty, or a coach that has certainty in their body, is just a completely different animal than somebody who's only driven by confidence. And what I can tell you is, I would say 95% at minimum. This is what I believe. This isn't based on some study, just my experience in this industry in 18 plus years. I would say 95% of people who want to be coaches are searching for, and they're being driven by, confidence. And they think confidence is the answer. That might be the biggest problem, because if you think that is the answer, then you're going to keep searching for that. And what it means is you can even hit that target, but you're aiming at the wrong target. What creates separation and what creates an expansion of success is certainty. And with certainty comes conviction that confidence can't provide. Because confidence is actually always based on insecurity. It's actually driven by uncertainty, meaning we're always concerned that something won't go well, because that's the essence of confidence, right? That it won't go as planned. So we're constantly on edge because there's always the opportunity that it goes off the rails. So there's a never-ending potential that disrupts our confidence. There's a never-ending potential that it goes off plan, off script. And that's why confidence is not a solid strategy, because there's a never-ending supply of confidence kryptonite, which is the idea that this human might go off script, right? And because there's that never-ending supply of confidence kryptonite, we cannot be fully convicted, because there's the constant existence of the kryptonite. Hopefully this is landing for you and it's as clear coming out, because I don't know that I've even thought of these in the same kind of way. But I want you to understand why seeking confidence is almost useless. But here's the cool thing, kind of what I said about the tip of the iceberg. Confidence absolutely is possible when it's on top of certainty. If you commit to certainty, you will build confidence. But if you only commit to confidence, you'll never approach certainty. I'm telling you, that could be the whole problem right there. Like that could be the main reason that most people don't succeed in a human endeavor, in a human environment. You're a human and they're a human. So we want to get to the point where you have convicted certainty. Because if you're not convicted, you won't speak. You won't create content. You won't engage people in conversation. The lack of conviction will shut you down. That's just the way humans work. So certainty and conviction together can create an unstoppable cycle. But just confidence will create a nothing but stoppable cycle because there's always the potential of it not going according to plan. Please let me know if this is landing for you. Give me a comment here and see if this is landing for you. And the great news is certainty is possible. You know what? Certainty is actually easier to get than confidence is. Because confidence is a never-ending road. There's always more areas where you can not be confident. And certainty is a constant evolution. However, there is a line where you cross and you're just certain. Like from that point forward, you're certain. And there are more things that you're going to learn. And you might see little pockets where you've got to experience a little bit more certainty in these areas. But once you cross that line of certainty in the way that I'm talking about, like you're pretty much good. You know, that is almost a flip of a switch in an area where there's almost no switch flips, in my opinion, in, you know, personal development. But this is one of them where you can actually cross certainty. And then there are other small areas, but confidence doesn't work that way. And so what we have is a lot of coaches who are searching for the intellectual confidence, and they actually feel prepared intellectually, even though it's not a feeling. That's content for another video. But people feel intellectually prepared, but they're neurologically scared. And if you feel intellectually prepared, but you are neurologically scared, meaning your body doesn't have the experiential certainty, you'll sabotage everything. But only everything. You're only going to sabotage every single thing because your body's neurologically scared. Your body doesn't have the certainty. Your mind has the confidence, but your body doesn't have the certainty. And that depth of going from confident to certain is what most coaches don't do, especially in the world of like deep transformational coaching. Most coaches just don't do that. And that's why most coaches just simply won't succeed. So it's a massively deep conversation, but I want you to understand the depth of it, but also the high level of it so that you can recognize. And what you'll find is as you pay attention to your own patterns, you'll find times when you're confident, but you still don't do the thing. Or you think you're confident, and then right before you hit live on Facebook, like some thought shuts you down. That's a scenario where you're intellectually prepared, but you're neurologically scared. And the neurology of your body, the lack of certainty is what's going to cause you to not push the button. It's what's going to cause you to not send the email. It's what's going to cause you to not do the video or not publish the video. That's what's going to cause us to not take action. It's the lack of certainty. So I want you to understand that there's a different target that you've got to focus on and go toward. Without that target, you cannot succeed in an arena that requires it.
Well, if you like this video, I mean, you got to go watch part 2. It's right there. Get the third and the fourth things.
So I'm saying this for your success as a coach. And if you've tried a bunch of things, if you've implemented a bunch of campaigns that should have worked better and you just weren't